everyone, and welcome back to a time trial guide here on Gran Turismo 7. We've got a brand new time trial and a brand new car. That's literally come to the game today. Now, we're at Drag Trail Seaside, if you do not recognize that circuit in the background. And it is the Corvette Z06 C5. We're on sports medium tires, and this one is hard. I probably should say very hard, to be honest with you. When I first started this one, it took me a little while to get used to this car, and it will take you a little while as well. Got an estimate around a 151 dead should do it. A Kagi's time at the moment is insane, so I can't imagine that coming down a little bit, or even at all, really. It's an insane lap. If you do enjoy this video, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, stay in touch with all the latest content. But without further ado, let's jump into a lap that did make the top 10 eventually. So we're going to short shift this car, shift as the red bar gets to the gear number there. So obviously it's 5 now, it was 4. And as you go around this corner, what you're looking for is the 200 board on the right hand side. I have highlighted the barrier on the left because some of you may want to use that. But what I want to do here is, as the 200 board leaves the screen on the right hand side, I'm then going to hit the brakes and brake in a straight line. Now, you might feel you could brake later, but it's better not to do that. So I release the brakes and I turn in. I instantly go on the throttle there, and then I lift off, and then I go full throttle again there. Notice how I did that. You've got to be very aggressive by accelerating out of a corner, but not 100%. Very difficult to do. As you go through this corner, just be careful of that curb. Lift off if you need to. And then your next brake marker is on the left-hand side. It's where the gravel goes into the grass. The first part of that there, that is your brake marker. As you hit the brakes, you want to brake in a straight line and drop to third gear. Again, on the exit of this corner, you want to be very aggressive on the throttle. So there we go. We start to release the brakes. We rotate the car. And instantly on throttle there. We don't need to worry about wheel spin there in third gear going uphill. The car settles itself absolutely fine. Over the crest of the hill we go, over towards the right-hand side. We're braking earlier than normal now. On the right side, as the barrier veers away from the circuit, that is our brake marker. You can see I've gone on the brakes right here. I want you to stay in fourth gear, though. So the idea here is you want to stay at 90 miles an hour minimum in the corner, but come down towards that speed. So I hit the brakes, I'll then start to release the brakes, there we go, and then turn into the corner. I click the curb, I start to accelerate. We're going towards the right side. We're going to lift off a little bit here. I don't go over the curb there because it's dangerous. Over towards the left-hand side, again, slight lift, and then we continue on. Notice a little bit of oversteer there. The slight lift prevents that oversteering even more. Stay in fourth gear now as you head down towards cruise corner. And on the left-hand side, we've got the 200 board and also the grass going into the pink area up ahead. So you're braking after the 200 board and just before the grass going into the pink stuff. If you brake at the grass going into the pink stuff, well, you're going to go a little bit deep. So it's a bit of an in-between mark there. We're going to hit the brakes, drop to third gear. We're going to release the brakes and turn into the corner. Try and stay above 50 miles an hour. Notice how what I do with the throttle here. I went to 100, then down to 90, 100, then 90 for a little while, then 100 again. It's all about manipulating the throttle with this car. The second you go to 90%, you don't get wheel spin, and it turns as well. It's great. So as I go through the chicane of death there, all I've done is lift and I go on the throttle and be very aggressive. That was one of the best chicane of deaths I did in my entire run, and arguably one of the best I've ever done in Gran Turismo 7. We will revisit that as we go to the pad lap and chase cab, don't worry. As we get to the final corner then, on the left hand side we have the 150 board. The 150 board is your final brake marker, and you brake before you get to it. You can see I've just hit the brakes right now. If you brake at it, you're going to go a little bit too deep and you're not going to be able to carry some speed, and you do need to carry some speed here due to the exit of the corner. So we drop to third gear, we take a wider line initially, we then go for a late apex, we clip the curb, we just go a little bit 9% throttle, then 100%, and then accelerate out of the corner. Now you can cut up here, so you notice how I cut the curb on the left hand side there, making sure it's in the center of the car. We head towards the line. That's a 149.003, and what we're going to do now is go to a pad lap. So we go around towards the right hand side here. Look at that 200 board there. We're then going to hit the brakes. Brake in a straight line. Third gear. We start to release the brakes. We go to here. Instantly on the throttle there to make sure we start accelerating out the corner. As you go through here, on and off the throttle. 100% down to 80%, back to 100% if you want to do it that way. Just keep going on and off and you should be able to carry speed through the corner. As you turn it into here, make sure the right-hand tyres, don't do that where I've clipped the curb right there. If you do that, you lose the car, nearly flip it as you saw right there. So you need to make sure you cut it a little bit more. Fortunately, I save it on the pad because it's easier to control a save on a pad than it is on a wheel. As we go down here, as the barrier goes away from the circuit on the right side, we hit the brakes. We're in fourth gear. Notice how we're trying to slow the car down. 91 miles an hour there. Stay above 90. Over towards the right side again. Avoiding cutting on the inside here as we continue. As we go towards the left-hand side, we may lift a little bit. There we go. Tiny bit of a lift. And then we accelerate through. Stay in fourth gear now as you head towards cruise corner. I said that just before. And what we are going to do is talk about the chicane of death here. So we hit the brakes there just before the pink stuff as we drop to third gear. Clip the curb on the inside. Start to accelerate. The chicane of death You can brake in the middle of it. I highly suggest you do not do that. So as you go into this corner, what I want you to do is go over towards the right side, cut as much of this as possible, cut as much of as the left as you can, and then just lift. Let the car roll. Notice it, and then go on and off the throttle. The car starts to turn, and then I can accelerate through. You need to make sure the right-hand side of your tires are on the inside of the right-hand side curb, the final curb of the chicane of death. It's a very hard corner to get right, but lifting and just letting the car do its own thing is far better than hitting the brakes during the chicane, as you've seen on both the previous lap and this pad lap as well. So we go through this final corner then, see how close we are to the ghost. We do that last corner very well. We're going to head towards the line. Now, this ghost isn't available on the leaderboard. I will upload this at some point this evening, so just keep an eye out for it. That's a 149.178. I'll use the tags of Tidgney and pad lap. We go to the chase cam there. This is, of course, off by very fast lap. So just after the 200 board, we hit the brakes. We're going to drop to third gear. ABS is weak for those interested. As we go to here, instantly on the throttle. Notice that it's 50, 100, of them 50, 50 is 75, 100 there. I'll try to say the percentage as we go here. And what we're going to do now is continue towards this kink. Look how much I cut this now. This is what you've got to do as well. As you go through here, the right-hand tires do not touch the curb, so you just need to make sure you do that. Third gear then, in towards this corner, instantly on the throttle there. The car remains very stable on exit, and we can really boost it out. Be aggressive on the throttle. That is really critical with this car. So as the barrier goes away on the right hand side, we're going to hit the brake, drop to fourth gear, trail brake a little bit, and then just make sure we slow the car down enough, clip the curb, accelerate, then lift off this right-hander, clip the curb, don't go over it, accelerate again. What we're going to do is turn into this curb, lift off a little bit, and then continue on. You can go over the curb a little bit there, but make sure you come back on before the end of it. Cruise corner, remember, between the 200 board and the pink stuff there. So we hit the brakes here nicely, third gear, and then we're going to start turn in towards the curb. There we go, start to accelerate out. Notice how I'm adjusting the throttle there once again. Look how I do the chicane of death. I'm going to just revisit this again. I'm going to cut all of the right, and then I'm going to cut the left-hand side, and then I'm going to lift. I'm going to lift and let the car roll, and then instantly go on the throttle there when I know the car started turning, and once it's stable enough, I can continue on the throttle. Look how close we are to the wall there as well. If you do clip the wall, it will invalidate your lap. It doesn't invalidate the next lap, though, so just putting that out there if you do want to then continue on and do another lap. So just before the 150 board there, we hit the brakes. We're in third gear right now, letting the car rotate, instantly get to the curb, instantly start accelerating out of the corner. The car should remain stable, and we continue towards the line. We're going to cut on the left-hand side, make sure we stay on the curb, and then we're back over the white line before we get to the end of the curb. And that is that 149.003. I did do a VR lap here as well. So when I do the pad and VR laps, I just do the daily marathon in these and then give you the best time, unless they're very close to getting on the leaderboard. So we hit the brakes just after the 200 board here. Now, I found in VR, this first corner, easier in VR than in any other way of driving it, because I could tell how aggressive I could be on that corner. So you can really just push the limits there. Going into this right now, this corner was so hard to do in VR, it really was. So we hit the brakes there at the start of the grass, we turn in and then start to accelerate out of the corner. Again, you can be very aggressive on throttle out of these right-handers up hills in third gear. It's absolutely fine. So we head over towards the right-hand side here. As the barrier goes away, we're going to hit the brakes fourth gear, make sure we get the car turned in, clip the curb, then start accelerating. This corner on the right there is really difficult to get right. Notice how we went over the curb there. It forced us very much out wide, which compromises this left-hander. It's going to cost us a couple of attempts there, as now we continue towards cruise corner. Stay in fourth gear for this. I will reiterate that you will hit the limiter, but it doesn't matter. We're going to hit the brakes as we hit the limiter then. So we drop to third gear here. We're looking towards the corner. Try and stay above 50 miles an hour. You can't see on VR what speed you're doing, so you really have to judge it accordingly. Accelerate out of the corner. Now, the chicane of death was not as deadly as I thought it would be in VR, but it's still hard to judge here. So we cut there, we lift, we let the car do its thing, then instantly on the throttle, on and off, on and off, on and off. We cut a lot of the right, a lot of the left and the right there, sorry, as we continue on through here then, and we head towards the final corner. Remember, we're looking for the 150 board here. We're going to brake just before we get to that. We're going to hit the brakes here, drop to third gear as we go in towards the corner. Late apex, finally clip the curb, start to accelerate out the corner. A little bit of a wiggle, nothing insane here though, as we head up the hill and for a final time head towards the light. Now this was a 149.3 I believe, and I'll try and upload this lap as well with Tidgney and VR in the tags as well. But this has been a time trial guide for you. You may wonder how you can get into this time trial guide and actually earn some credits. Well, I will show you how to do that. So here we are on the home screen. In the top right hand side, we have sport mode. So what we're going to do is head over there now, and we're going to click into that one. It then loads here. You got daily races and the online time trials on the right hand side. We're going to the online time trials. We're presented with the current two here. So we've got the NSX on the right and the Corvette on the left at Dragon Trail Seaside. So we're going to click into that. here are the times and the credits you are interested in. So in the top left, we've got gold, silver, bronze. So if you get any of these, obviously, by the end of the 2 weeks, you will then get the money at the end of the 2 weeks. That time can improve as people improve. You can go to the leaderboard and you can follow my laps as well. So I'm ranked 30 on my VR lap, for example. But down in P10, because it made the top 10, you can actually load my ghost or watch the replay as I've shown you right there. Now, in terms of this challenge, it is a difficult one. It's not a case of quickly getting 2 million credits. However, it still can be one of the fastest ways to get 2 million credits. Bearing in mind, I did it on the pad lap in the daily marathon and the VR lap on the daily marathon, which means that in about, what, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I'm going to get 2 million credits then in 2 weeks' time. If you have enjoyed this, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. But that's going to be it for me, folks. If I have sounded a bit weird, I apologize. I'm at the end of a cold or man flu, if you want to call it that. And there are 2 videos there to check out, including last week's time trial and today's video. We've done 2 today of the recent patch coming to Gran Turismo 7. Do check out my partners. A big thank you for watching as always, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.